There was a giant hand reaching into the beautiful girl's house. She thought she was going to die, but unexpectedly, that giant took only one roasted chicken. This giant man suddenly discovered that the chicken was out of date since 1982. Then his stomach started to get upset. He bent over and then gave a fart like thunder. At this moment, it was like a hurricane coming. There was an old woman also blown away by this hurricane. The beggar man was trying to light a match. The matchstick was on fire, and then exploded an entire city. The man was startled and woke up. It turned out that it was just a dream. He was Sherman, a professor with an IQ above 300. One day, he discovered that there were many mice in the school. Aren't they the lab rats he was working on for his weight loss? After all, what happened? At this time, rats appeared everywhere in the school. There was a rat flying straight into the sandwich. Another rat jumped into the female teacher's mouth. After that, the principal quickly called Sherman to ask about that. However, the chair in the principal's room was too small. It was really difficult for Sherman to sit in. Sherman saw a mouse on the chandelier, and unexpectedly its poop just fell into the principal's coffee cup. He was about to warn the principal, but he didn't dare to interrupt. Then the principal picked up the coffee cup and took a sip. "Why does it taste so strange? Is this weasel coffee?" the principal said. Suddenly, the rat then fell into this coffee cup. Sherman returned to the classroom to lecture, but he was mocked by the students, because when he wrote at the top of the board, his big belly erased the lesson content below. After the students left, Sherman met the new female teacher. When just looking at this woman, Sherman loved at first sight. At this moment, he also wanted a love. Actually, Sherman had this fat body because of genetics. Nearly 80 generations of the Sherman family were people with large bodies. It could be said that he was born fat. That night, Sherman went to Carla's house. He said he wanted to ask her out, and unexpectedly Carla agreed. After returning home, Sherman made a shocking decision. That's right, he really wanted to lose weight. First, Sherman chose acupuncture therapy to lose weight. The doctor gave him a lot of needles, but it was also useless. Then Sherman turned to exercise for weight loss. However, because of his oversized body, Sherman couldn't jump up. This was the way to jump in bed to lose weight. But this small bed was trampled by Sherman. And this was a way to lose weight with weightlifting. However, this way of losing weight still didn't work for Sherman. And finally, Sherman chose to eat to lose weight. Because some people often say that eating enough to have strength to lose weight. They often say this would be the last cup of milk tea, or the last can of soft drink. Despite the failure to lose weight, Sherman still made an appointment with Carla. The date went well at first, but then it was interrupted by the MC. The MC looked at Sherman's ass and started making fun of him. After that, he continued to use other vulgar words to say Sherman. Sherman was laughed at by everyone around him, especially in front of the girl he liked. He felt very hurt, like someone rubbing salt in the wound. And he also felt so ashamed and humiliated, as if he was standing in front of many people without any clothes on. After returning home, Sherman immediately opened the door of the laboratory. He wanted to test his weight loss product by himself. No matter what the consequences, he had to lose weight. Then he put a small device on his forehead. Sherman took a small blue potion, and then took a sip. Suddenly, he started to feel extreme pain, and then fell to the ground. At that time, the electric lights flickered continuously, and Sherman's body was like a deflated balloon. The mice in the cage were also bewildered and didn't understand what happened. After that, Sherman walked over to the mirror. He was so shocked. Who am I? And where is this? Sherman hurriedly looked down at his chest. I don't need to wear sweat-wicking bras anymore, he said. He continued to look down again. He was so happy that his body was slim. After that, Sherman went to the clothing store and bought a lot of tight clothes. From childhood to adulthood, Sherman has never been skinny like that. In the lab, Sherman lied to Carla that he was Buddy, who was a Sherman's friend, and he wanted to ask Carla to go to the bar that night. But when his hand was on Carla's shoulder, it suddenly became bigger. Seeing that, Sherman quickly pushed Carla out of the room. After returning to the fat body, Sherman quickly went to school first. Carla even comforted him about the incidents happening at the bar. Sherman used the excuse that he was busy, so he went first. At night, he turned into Buddy again, and went to the bar with Carla. However, Sherman's personality has now changed. He was no longer the cute fat man he used to be. And Carla also seemed a bit disgusted with him. Sherman intentionally interrupted the MC's performance. They are all black people, but Sherman laughed at MC's skin color. After that, he even walked up to the stage and pushed the MC to fall on the piano next to him. After returning to his seat, Carla said his eyes looked familiar. At that time, Sherman's lips suddenly thickened. The weight loss pill has worn off. His big belly started to swell, which made buttons of his shirt break. He hurriedly made an excuse and left. After getting in the car, his assistant also followed up. At this point, Sherman's chin has returned to its original form. His foot also started to get bigger, and then the car wheels were also exploded. Finally, the firemen also arrived. At that time, Sherman's oversized body was stuck in the car. That night, Sherman continued to take medicine because he wanted to be loved. because he had been single for 40 years. During the party, Sherman had fun with 3 beautiful girls, so Carla felt he was a bad man. One day, while watching TV, Sherman received a text from Buddy. It turned out that Buddy had become an independent personality, and he was no longer under Sherman's control. This was a side effect of the medicine. At this point, Sherman realized this was a very serious problem. After that, he decided to dump all that medicine, and he was determined to lose weight with a healthy method. Sherman took a can of weight loss water to drink, but when just drinking, he suddenly fell to the ground. It turned out Buddy guessed this, so he swapped all the medicine. After that, he even punched the assistant fall down, then went to the party and told everyone he was Sherman. But no one believed what he said. He looked at the time on the clock. His big belly started to expose. He quickly took a sip of the medicine, his belly immediately deflated, and he decided to take all that medicine to make Sherman disappear forever. Seeing that, the assistant immediately punched Buddy. When he was about to fight back, his hand suddenly swelled up. It turned out that Sherman was trying to regain control of his body. The big hand immediately squeezed the neck. His big chin was gradually revealed. After that, Sherman started hitting his own body. His big leg like elephant's leg also gradually showed up. Sherman's body began to return to its original form. He finally returned to Sherman's identity. He said that he initially researched this medicine in order to help others. But after that, he gradually became selfish. After everything that just happened, he realized that human happiness has nothing to do with fat or skinny. Carla also forgave Sherman, and even invited him to dance, because she liked his cute and chubby body. Therefore, everyone should remember to lose weight in healthy ways such as eating healthy and exercising regularly.